Hi everybody, John here from All Miniatures Great and Small, and today we're coming at you with another X-Wing Miniatures Battle Report. This time it's going to be Rebels versus Empire. Here's my 100-point Rebel list, led by Poe Dameron, and he's going to be running with auto thrusters, R5P9, and that's the R2 unit that lets you spend your focus to recover one shield, and veteran instincts. And then we also have Elo Asti, and he's got integrated astromech, R4D6, which lets him reduce the number of hits he takes down to 2 if he takes more than 2 for stress. He has crack shot as well as weapons guidance. And then lastly we have Blue Ace, and he's got integrated astromech and R3A2, the stress bot himself. And that is 100 points of Rebels.
Okay, here we have 100 points of the Empire. So first up, I have my Decimator, the Admiral over here. He's got Darth Vader, Gunner, engine upgrade, and adaptability. And then over here I have Whisper, veteran instincts, advanced cloaking device, fire control system, and Mara Jade.
Alright everybody, here is the opening deployment. Asteroids have been down. We both are at 100 points, so we rolled off for initiative, and the Rebels have won. I have pilot skill 10, 7, and 5. The Empire is running 2 pilot skill 9s. The deployment here for the X-Wings, and across the field we have the Decimator and then the Phantom cowering in that corner. As typical here at All Miniatures Great and Small, we're going to go ahead and run the first few turns until we get closer, and then start filming each individual maneuver. So on to turn 1. Alright, so recap of turn 1. Nothing much happened. The X-Wings moved forward straight ahead and boosted. The Decimator turned off to run away. The Phantom moved up and cloaked. On to the next turn. Since everyone is still rather far apart, we're going to go ahead and move and then come back for the next turn. Alright, to recap turns movement, the Blue Squadron and Elo Asti both target locked to the Decimator. It continues to flee. Poe boosted, and the Phantom zoomed forward. So the circle of death continues. Okay, recap. The X-Wings turn in, the TIE Phantom is turned in, and the Decimator continues to flee. So on to next turn. Alright, dials are down. The ships are pointing towards each other, so we're going to go into individual maneuver reveals for the battle report. First up, TIE Phantom is decloaking. Next up, Blue Ace. And he will focus. Next up, Elo Asti. He will focus as well. Decimator. Oh, 1 bank.
Okay, and we will focus.
And he focuses. Phantom is a 2-turn. And for his action, he
will focus.
He's going to focus. Last but not least, our man Poe with a 3-turn. It should bump him against his teammates.
That was the plan.
That was the plan. Okay, recap. The X-Wings turn around. TIE Phantom's moving to engage. The Decimator is zooming around the asteroid. On to next turn. All right, shooting phase. We've got Whisper firing into Elo Asti. 4 dice through an asteroid.
And I will focus for 4 hits.
4 hits, very nice. And we will focus and take 1 shield damage. So with that, Elo Asti takes 1 damage and on to the next turn. Oh, I get. All right, next up, Elo Asti shoots back at the TIE Phantom. 3 dice. And we get 2 hits and a crit.
6 of 8 dice.
He's rolling 6 of 8s for cloak and asteroids.
And I'm good.
And he spends his focus to avoid the attack. All right, start of the next turn. Whisper is decloaking. Next up, Blue Ace. And he will focus. Next up, Elo Asti. And he's going to focus. Next up, we've got Whisper, and he is doing a 1 sharp turn.
My action will be.
And then for Whisper's action, he's going to barrel roll. Next up, the Decimator. He's making a 2-turn. He's coming in for some action. Darth Vader prods the pilot into making an aggressive move. And for the Decimator's action, he is boosting. He's trying to get out of Blue Ace's firing arc, which I think he will succeed admirably. And last, Poe. He's making a 2 bank. And he bumps. Oops. Okay, so first up, Poe is firing at range band 2 at the Decimator. 3 dice. And we score 2 hits. So that's 2 shields off the Decimator. Alright, next up, the Decimator's firing at Elo Asti. 3 dice attack through an asteroid. 2 hits. I get 2 evades.
All right, and I have gunner.
So gunner triggers for a second attack.
And I get to change 1 to a critical.
And what causes that?
That's the Admiral's ability.
So the Admiral chair now.
Yep.
Turns 1 hit into a crit. And, well, LO will have to spend his focus to turn these into evades. So no damage. All right, recap of this turn. We scored 2 shield damage off the Decimator. The rebels did not take any damage in return. All right, new turn. First up, Phantom is not decloaking because he didn't cloak, so he's open. So Blue Ace goes first with a 3 turn.
And focus.
And he will focus. Next up, Elo Asti. It's a 3 turn. He's going to be bumping into the Decimator. Oh no, bumping into my own X-Wing. And his final position is there. Next up, Whisper. He is doing a 1 turn. Bringing it towards the rebels. Next up, the Decimator is a 3 forward through the asteroid. And does he take damage? Nope. All right, and then on to Poe. Okay, then last we have Poe. 2 turn. Those go with Elo. And
Focus.
Poe will focus. All right, first up, Poe is firing at Whisper. Range band 1, 4 dice. And we've got
Oh no, a critical.
3 hits.
Alright, I gotta spend it.
Okay, so 2 hits.
Shield her down.
Okay. Next up, Whisper is firing back at Poe.
5 dice. 3 hits.
All right. And we cancel 1, so we take 2 shields. Decimator is firing into Poe. But before the Decimator fires, the Phantom recloaks, gets a target lock, and a focus. All right, Decimator, 3 shots into Poe.
2 hits.
And Poe can use his ability.
Hold on 1 second. I think you're in range band 2. So I will use to do that.
You'll use what?
His ability.
Whose ability?
The Admiral's.
Oh, so you're using Admiral Chernow's ability to add a hit, or crit. And I used Poe's ability to turn a focus into an evade, so that's a hit and a crit. So the crit goes through to Poe. And then he's using Darth Vader to deal the last and fatal hit point to Poe, killing him. All right, so we have to scratch that. He's not destroyed. He did have auto thrusters, which saved him from 1 damage point. And then he's going to spend his focus at the end of the combat phase to get a shield back. He did take 2 criticals, however. One is a damaged cockpit, so he's at pilot skill 0, and a major hull breach, which is any damage cards he takes from now on are face-up damage cards. And one more correction, Mara Jade is on the Phantom, So that range one shot stressed out Poe. Though he is alive. All right, now Blue Squadron pilot firing at the Decimator. We'll spend our target lock. And a hit and a crit.
One evade, so one critical.
And the critical is?
Take 2 hits.
Direct hit. All right, so here's a recap of the turn. The Phantom and Poe unloaded into each other. The Phantom lost its shields. Poe lost everything, is down to 1 hull point and has some criticals on him. The Decimator took damage from Darth Vader and from Blue Ace and has 10 hull points left.
Well, you recovered 1 shield on Poe.
Yeah, he's got 1 hull and 1 shield. First up, Decloak.
All right.
Next up, Poe. 1 bank.
And did you want to focus him?
And he will focus. Next up, Blue Ace. And he crashes into Poe. And Eloasti. A 2 turn. And his final position. He's going to focus. Next up, the TIE Phantom is making
there we go.
Convenient.
I'm not cheating, I promise.
Mm.
All right, and we will focus.
He is focusing. Next up, the Decimator. He's doing a 3 turn.
Okay, and he will, for his action, try to boost. Easily.
And the shuttle boosts. All right, so Phantom is shooting at Poe. Range band 2. 4 dice.
Okay, and I will re-roll this one with the target lock.
Spending his target lock.
And then focus.
Focus for 4 hits. And we get 2 evades.
All right, 2 hits.
That's still enough to kill poor Poe. Next up, the Decimator shooting.
Yep, he's going to target the Blue Ace.
All right, range 3.
And just 2 hits, or 1 hit, I mean.
And we're good.
All right, and I'll use Gunner. And 2 hits.
Oh, it's range band 3. Sorry, I get an extra die. And that's 2 hits. All right, next up, Blue Ace is firing at the TIE Phantom. Range band 2. And we get 3 hits.
Nice. Oh, okay, so 1 evade, so I still am destroyed.
So 2 hits is enough to take out the Phantom. So that was a pretty decisive turn. The recap is the Phantom managed to finish off the crippled Poe, but in a fit of vengeance, Blue Ace annihilated the Phantom. So now it is 2 pretty much undamaged X-Wings. They're a couple shields down versus a Decimator with lots of hull, 10 hull. So on to the next turn. All right, so started a new turn. Dials are down, and we're going to go with Blue Ace, and he is doing a 2-bank. And he is going to target lock the Decimator. Next up, we have Eloasti. He's doing a 2-turn.
Target lock as well?
No, he's going to focus. He's already target locked. Next up, the Decimator is making a 3-bank. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? All right, and for the Decimator's action, he is boosting. All right, so shooting, Decimator is firing into Eloasti. 3 shots, range band 2. 2 hits. And we get 1 evade, so that's 1 shield off Asti. Next up, Asti is shooting back at the Decimator. Range band 2. We'll spend our target lock. And we get 2 hits. Recap of that turn. The Decimator took a shield off Asti. In return, Asti landed 2 damage on the hull. Alright, dials are down. First up, Blue Ace. He's doing a 2-turn. And using Blue Ace's special ability, he's going to use the 1 turn to turn to the right for his boost action. Next up, Asti is making a 3K. Oh no, he's going to crash into his friend.
Yep.
And he is going to be stressed. Not what I want. Unless you go the other direction.
Can you move that token up?
So he ends up there, and he is stressed. The Decimator's movement. A 2-bank.
Alright, and I will focus.
Focus. On to the shooting phase. Alright. The Decimator's firing into Blue Ace. 4 dice. Range band 1.
2 hits.
That's 1 hit. He loses his last shield. Blue Ace is firing back into the Decimator. 4 dice. We'll spend our target lock for 3 hits. 2 hits and a crit.
Console fire. Start of each combat phase, roll 1 attack die on a hit result, suffer 1 damage, or I can flip it down for an action.
Alright, console fire. And I forgot to use my stress bot, so I'm stressing Blue Squadron Pilot to stress the Decimator. Everyone is stressed. On to the next turn. Alright, so next turn. Blue Squadron Pilot is making a 2-turn to crash into the Decimator. And he crashes right there, avoiding the asteroid. Next up, Eloasti is doing a 3-turn. And he ends up right there. On to Decimator. A 2 bank.
Alright, and for my action, I will flip the console fire face down.
Alright, so he resolves a crit, turning it face down. Alright, 4 shots into blue ace from the Decimator.
Alright, and I will turn one of those into a critical.
Alright, so 3 hits. And blue ace takes 3 hits, which would destroy him, but I'm going to eject my R2 unit.
Darth Vader.
Alright, so blue ace is destroyed, and the shuttle, or sorry, the...
Oh wait, resolve these first, because this could be double damage.
hang on a sec. We'll be back. Alright, so using Darth Vader, that kills blue ace, and the Decimator takes 2 more damage. Alright, next up, next turn, Eloasti is doing a 3 turn. Then we'll go straight to the Decimator, and Decimator is doing a 1 bank.
Okay, and I will boost.
And the Decimator boosts. On to the shooting phase. Okay, first up the Decimator, range band 3 onto Eloasti. Two hits. And that's 1 shield. Alright, next up, Eloasti is going to shoot range band 3 on the Decimator. I'm going to use weapons guidance to turn this one into, or blank into a hit. So that's 2 hits.
Okay.
Okay. So the Decimator's on 1 hull left. On to the next turn. Alright, next turn. Asti is down to 3 hull. Decimator's down to 1 hull. Here we go. A 3 turn. And I remain stressed. And the Decimator is going 4 straight ahead. That's a risky game he's playing.
All right, and I will try to target lock. Nope.
And we are out of range. All right, on to the next turn. Unless you're boosting.
No.
Okay. All right, next turn. Asti is going 2 forward. And he will focus. The Decimator is making a 2 turn, desperate to stay on the board and stay alive.
I'll stay on the board. I will focus.
And focus. All right, on to the shooting phase. All right, we just checked with the laser. The asteroid is not providing cover, so it's going to be 3 shots at Asti at range band 3. And that's 1 hit.
All right, gunner.
Gunner kicks in.
And I'll just keep the 1 hit, I
You can't use chair now to turn that into a crit?
Well, no, that's at range band 3.
Oh, okay. And we get the evade.
All right, now you can kill me.
Is this where the world ends for Darth Vader? 3 shots into the Decimator.
And that
2 hits. Well, range band, oh, not through the rock, so yep. That kills the Decimator.
And you have crack shot.
And I have crack shot if he did get a defense. So, there you go. That is the end of the game. We'll have a recap here in a second. But there is the final shot. Elo Asti delivering a range band 3 shot to the Decimator with Darth Vader winning for the Rebels. Alright, so I'll talk about my Rebel list first. I'm really trying to make the 3 T-70 X-Wing list work. I've been playing with different variations of what to put on these guys, integrated astromech or auto thrusters or some combination of that. Do we add the stress bot or not? So this was my combination I ran this time. I thought I got real lucky with taking out the Phantom with Blue Ace. That was the really turning point, the real turning point of the battle. After that, it was just chasing down the Decimator before he could pick my guys off. So a really close battle, though. At the end of the day, Asti was the only ship left on the board, and he only had 3 hull points left. So it was a very close battle and very exciting. So I'm looking forward to trying the 3 T-70 X-Wings out again and seeing what they can do. I'll let Jake talk about his list and what he thought about the battle.
All right, as for my list, I like this list a lot. I actually saw a friend fly it, and he did really well. He went to a couple tournaments with it and placed really high. It's an ace-killing list. I switched it up slightly. I put Mara Jade on the Phantom, and I changed the Decimator to adaptability instead of Veteran Instincts. He's normally supposed to have that. But I think you can do this list a lot of different ways. It was really fun. I think it's really strong. Definitely at killing aces, just Darth Vader being on there. If you can do it right, you can use Darth Vader twice in one turn and put 2 criticals on a ship, which is just handy once you get Poe down and if he has integrated astromech or something of that sort. As for the battle, it was really fun. It was super close between these X-Wings. Just looking at the lists, I thought I was going to win already just seeing 3 X-Wings, just because it's not very strong right now. I thought the Phantom would take care of business, but in order to do that, Poe was first on my list. He had to go first. So I focused in on Poe, and I only took 2 shields for it, which I was totally worth it to have, and I still think that was the right choice. Killing Poe was big, because he was the only thing that could beat me. But then rolling all blanks, or I think I rolled a focus and 3 blanks, really killed me. I didn't need to roll much because I had a focus on. But yeah, the dice gods did not have it so. Other than that, yeah, it was a really fun battle. I've been experimenting a lot with Rebels, and now just today actually the preview was released for the new Falcon and the new T-70. So I'm excited to try that out, try out the new Poe. But yeah, other than that, great battle report. And hope you like this video, and if you do, subscribe also, and have a good one.